ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rob White and I'm here at F.L.Y Studios with TNT. Thanks for coming down.
Right.
And he's going to be talking to us a little bit today about his music, some of his projects, and just some of his views on the music industry as well, nothing too political. So first of all, the first thing I want to ask you is sort of how long have you been doing music for?
Well, it's quite interesting, Rob. It started about 4 or 5 years ago, really. Started taking it seriously for like the last 2.
Okay.
I was actually in Filton College in Bristol. I was actually studying sport.
Right.
And so it's sort of like a little sort of transition period, really. I ended up with my boy Ashley Stone, A-Star. Just want to give a quick shout out to him as well. Ended up in his sort of home studio on an 8-track, and then he just sort of started writing from there, and then just grew and grew and grew.
Okay, and what sort of genre would you say you are?
A mixture of probably both, like, you know, rap and hip hop. Occasionally, like what you hear off some of the albums that I'm doing at the moment is club music.
Okay.
So that you can
like
promote in.
Party tunes kind of thing.
Yeah, you got to get the feel good tunes in there. You got to mix it all up, and yeah. So.
Okay. And so you say you use working in your friend's home studio as well, and so is that where you regularly are now? I mean, do you record? Where do you usually record?
No, he's up at Leeds Metropolitan University at the moment, but my regular place for recording now is at Gatehouse Studios in Swindon.
Okay.
With a good friend of mine, Andy Rowland, who is a very big producer. He's worked with a lot of good people, so you know it's flexible for me to just go there, Rob. You know what I mean? It's easy, isn't it?
And what sort of things do you guys work on? I mean, does he know what sort of stuff you want? Like, do you have good understanding? I mean, does he know, like, okay, this beat, yeah, this is made for TNT. Is he like, oh, I like this one, maybe you should try this? How is he with that sort of stuff?
Well, he basically just lets me do it how it wants to be done, but then he'll push me to try something different on it. You know, if it's saying I'll just come in with a verse and an instrumental, he'll say, oh, T, you could do that, you could do this.
Okay.
You know, makes you explore a lot more, push a lot more boundaries. You know what I mean? Whereas sometimes if you just go in a studio, they do what you want, and then it's adds limitation. Yeah, it adds limitation to it, Rob. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? So then that's where you need someone to push you further and say you could try this out, and after time it works.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And so, I mean, when we met, we was on a performance in Camden Unplugged, and so do you do a lot of shows? I know you said so. You have a studio in Swindon, but is that where you're from in Swindon? You're from Swindon?
No, I'm from Oxford actually.
Oh, Oxford.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you up in London quite a bit doing shows? I've seen you in Camden, like I said. And so, is that how you promote yourself mainly? Like?
Pretty much, yeah. There isn't a lot really within and around Oxford for hip hop. It's quite big on the indie scene, you know. It looks like the way I dress and that, you know what I mean? But no, it's not too big on the hip hop scene. So that's where coming into London comes in, because you know you can expand your horizons.
And how have you found it in regards to things like networking and working with other people, and sort of how would you say the industry is supportive of music at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of promotion, it's been the best thing I've done. Yeah. Because it's such a short journey for me to go 45 minutes down the road to get about 1,000 more people interested in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So in terms of fan base and networking and, you know, meeting new people and whatever else, it's been brilliant.
And so do you have a lot of like a team behind you? Do you have a management or anything?
Nah.
Or you just kind of
doing it solo? Like, I think when you met me in Camden, I had just the 3 people with me. That was myself, one of my boys, Lewis, and Joe, who literally, like, Joe's just he just does the driving for me. No matter where I gotta go, he's happy to drive as long as I get the money, you know what I mean? And then Lewis sort of does a little bit of promotion for me behind the scenes, but those 2 push me, you know, and I think Joe in particular does a really good job of actually just keeping a level head on me. Because sometimes, you know, some artists and some people they get carried away with themselves when they're on stage. They've got adrenaline rushing, so he's kind of an unsung hero in that respect. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you've got your little a team there, which is supporting what you're doing. You've got a personalised driver, chauffeur. You've got the guy to keep you down to earth as well. And so, I mean, London at the moment is really doing well in the sense of artists working together and things like that. I know that I've been to a lot of shows myself where everyone is very enthusiastic to hear everyone else. In regards to, you say you were talking about promotion, apart from obviously the network, and how else do you promote yourself? Do you have Twitter, Facebook? And
yeah, got it all. You can check it all out. I mean, you've got www.twitter.com/TNT Music. That's music with a K. You've got Facebook, which you can promote on. It's obviously got all that details, and I'll give it all later. And then, you know, SoundCloud is always there, and it's just business cards handing around there, CDs for free. I'll freestyle in the street if I have to. You know what I mean? Just to promote, just for the sake of promoting it.
Okay. And so, I mean, in regards to what you're doing now, I mean, I know you're doing a lot of promotions. Is there anything major that you're working on?
Yeah, we've basically. I'm working on the first album proper, Rob. Now I had the Serenade EP, which is you know, like a mixtape just to introduce myself.
And how did that go down? Was you getting good responses from that? Or?
Yeah, really well. Still selling it. You know, gonna put it wherever I can, to be honest, because any promotion is promotion.
Yeah.
The latest thing I'm working on now is a album called The Unfinished Article.
Okay.
Which I've sort of got the rough parts and the song structured and whatever else, and then it's just a case of taking that in and breaking it all down, doing it.
I know you've had Serenade, obviously, the way you did the ladies mean. So the Unfinished Article, I mean, what are you hoping to have your fans think of from that? Like, what are you trying to achieve from that? Is that a particular style that you're going from, or what are you trying to achieve from it?
Sort of, the majority of it is trying to get away from the party good, you know, the party feel good stuff, because I know that I've done that and I'm comfortable in that environment. What the Unfinished Article is there to do is to open up people's minds about, you know, hip hop and, you know, different interpretations of what's going on in the world and whatever else, because, you know, sometimes, you know, misjudgment leads to assumption, you know, within music, and, you know, it's to sort of break the boundaries on image, because, you know, obviously a lot, without going into racial terms, Rob, you know, white people get subjected to it. If you look like you're doing hip hop, people say, oh, you're pretending to be black and whatever else, right? Without getting political on the issue, you know what I'm saying? But that's sort of designed in that way as well, to prove that it's not just about looks and image, but it's about linguistic skills and whatever else, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And content and what you're trying to say.
Coming from
music.
A posh Oxford kid, you know.
And so, how would you describe your music then in, say, 3 words?
Well-spoken rap.
Well-spoken rap.
Yeah. If I had to say it in 3 words, there isn't an easy way to describe it in 3 words at all. I just did it. I mean, it's obviously like 7 different terms, and, you know, people make different judgments and whatever else, but I'd go with that.
Yeah. And so, I know that you're working on the Unfinished Article. When can we hope to see that? When do you reckon it'll be out?
Probably I haven't got a realistic date yet, to be honest. I'm just sort of working on the bones of it and the structure. Okay. Before I put the skin over the top, as a metaphor there. But I don't know, probably like sort of a couple of months down the line, maybe.
Okay. Now I know that at the moment you're working on this, as you said, you do a lot of performances in London. You do network. So in about 6 months, what would you have liked to have done?
Ultimately, the ultimate goal is get signed.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, do all the promotion and send all the CDs off to record labels and whatever else. In 6 months' time, you know, I just want to push even further. Just push even further on. Try and get signed by a major label or a label that's willing to dedicate their time to me. Yeah. You know, so that's where I want to be. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know at the moment, sort of we doing this thing with arts, and a lot of artists who come through here. We know that a lot of the kind of grime and hip hop and UK scene at the moment is doing quite well. We see a lot of people like Chipmunk and Retro too in the charts. So as a musician yourself, how do you think that benefits you in regards to as the industry's letting sort of UK unsigned, sort of maybe a bit gritty kind of people into charts?
I think so, Rob, personally, because any artist that is working hard deserves credit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So no matter where you are within the business, if you're willing to put the time and the dedication in, you will get through and break that. You know, Retro 2 and Chipmunk have demonstrated that. Obviously, they've had to go through a transition period where they've gone from grime, gritty music up to this UK style that we have now. You know, you see other artists jumping on that as well, like Wiley's in that sort of period where he's gone from, you know, effectively what is street music to commercial music. Yeah. And I think it benefits everyone personally, because if you're able to make that you know, distinction between the two, then you're going to be in the business.
Very much.
Is what I think.
Very solid overview, I think. I mean, one thing I really wanted to ask you, now this is a good one which I ask everyone, is that if you could work with any 3 people, they could be whoever you like, who would that be? Well,
I definitely know 2 of them. They'd be my 2 favourite artists would be Eminem, without a shadow of a doubt, because he's probably half the reason I started rapping anyway. Okay. And Obi Trice is my favourite artist. Although he's he is well off the map at the moment, but I tell you, I love Obi Trice, man. Just his language and his vocabulary and his stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I follow. And if I had to pick a 3rd one, I mean, that's kind of difficult, really. You know what I mean, I'd probably have to say Dr. Dre. Yeah,
you know,
so I'm quite on the American style.
Yeah, I know. That's quite true actually. Everyone who comes in here, they have so many different views. I had someone who come in here said something from like Nas to Ed Sheeran, completely different. So
forgot about Nas.
Nas is old school.
Yeah,
Nas is
that's
old
it.
school.
That's exactly that.
So, but I mean, we know where it's catching now. We know you're working on a unfinished article, which should be coming out pretty soon. Obviously, you're also on the Facebook, which is TNT Music. Yeah.
That's the Facebook is facebook.com/TNT Southeast.
Southeast. And is that the same for SoundCloud?
That's the same for my SoundCloud, and the Twitter's slightly different. It's twitter.com/TNT Music, and put a K on the end of music. Don't forget that. Music, which is French actually, but that's the one, mate. That's the one. Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're really looking forward to at the moment. We're looking forward to the unfinished article. We're looking forward to any performances he's doing at the moment. We're trying to get him from Oxford into London so we can get him performing and networking and working with different people. So what I'm like to say, man, thanks very much for coming down.
Cheers.
What we're going to do is we're going to try and get you a freestyle. Get you a F.L.Y studio freestyle. So watch out for that. That'll be down here on the interview. If you're looking for more information on how to catch TNT, all this information will be at the bottom of this interview, from SoundCloud to Facebook, everything you need. So I'm Rob White, TNT, we're done.